Certainly. Here is an original article based on the obituary you provided, written in a clear, respectful, and narrative journalistic style, suitable for publication in a magazine or news outlet. Sir Jane Goodall, trailblazing primatologist who changed our view of nature, dies at 91. By your name, October 2nd, 2025. Jane Goodall, the pioneering primatologist whose intimate observations of wild chimpanzees in Africa transformed the world's understanding of animal behavior and our place in nature, has died. She was 91. Goodall passed away on Wednesday while on a speaking tour in Los Angeles, according to a statement from the Jane Goodall Institute, the global conservation organization she founded in 1977. Her legacy, both scientific and humanitarian, spans continents, generations, and species. A visionary in the forest-born Valerie Jane Morris Goodall in London on April 4, 1934, she was captivated by animals from an early age. As a child, she read Tarzan and Dr. Dolittle stories and carried a beloved stuffed monkey named Jubilee. It was a fitting preview of a life devoted to understanding and defending our closest relatives in the animal kingdom. Goodall's journey to scientific stardom began not in a lab, but on the African plains. In 1957, a chance invitation to Kenya led to her meeting famed paleoanthropologist Louis Leakey, who would later recruit her to study chimpanzees in the wild, despite her lack of formal scientific training. With encouragement from Leakey and the support of her mother, Goodall arrived at Gombe Stream in what is now Tanzania on July 14, 1960. What she discovered there would rewrite textbooks. In the fall of that year, Goodall witnessed something no one had ever documented before. A chimpanzee, which she named David Graybeard, using a grass stem to fish termites out of a mound. Tool use, once thought to be a uniquely human behavior, was now irrefutably part of the animal world. Now we must redefine tool, redefine man, or accept chimpanzees as humans, Leakey famously said after learning of her discovery. Redefining science, and who can do it. Her approach was revolutionary. Rather than assign numbers to her chimpanzee subjects, Goodall gave them names: Flo, Fifi, Goliath, David Graybeard, and described their individual personalities, family bonds, rivalries, and emotions. It was a bold departure from the detached style favored in scientific circles at the time. Goodall's empathy, patience, and meticulous field notes turned her into a respected scientist. But it was her charisma and narrative flair that brought her work to the global stage. In 1963, National Geographic published her first major article, a 37-page story that captured not just her research, but the risks and wonders of life in the forest. Photographs by Hugo van Lawick, a Dutch wildlife filmmaker she would later marry, brought her story vividly to life. She quickly became a media phenomenon. The 1965 CBS special Miss Goodall and the Wild Chimpanzees introduced millions to the young woman in khaki shorts observing chimps in the Tanzanian jungle. Her fame would only grow with best-selling books like In the Shadow of Man and documentaries that made her a household name. But for many women in science, Goodall represented more than a researcher. She was a role model. Her success helped open the door for a generation of female primatologists, including Dian Fossey and Birute Galdikas, often dubbed the Trimates by Leakey, a champion for nature. In the 1970s, as deforestation and poaching increasingly threatened chimpanzee populations, Goodall shifted her focus from observation to advocacy. She became one of the world's most tireless voices for conservation, campaigning against the use of primates in research, the destruction of habitats, and the exploitation of animals in zoos and circuses. She traveled nearly 300 days a year, delivering passionate lectures and speaking directly to young people. In 1991, she launched the Roots and Shoots program, empowering youth in over 120 countries to take action on environmental and humanitarian issues. Her work did not go unrecognized. She was made a Dame Commander of the British Empire by Queen Elizabeth II in 2003, received the Templeton Prize in 2021, and was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom earlier this year by President Biden. A life lived with purpose. Goodall's scientific insights were deeply personal. She often wrote about how her understanding of chimpanzee motherhood influenced her own parenting. After marrying Van Lawick in 1964, the couple had one son, Hugo, nicknamed Grub. Later she married Derek Bryson, a Tanzanian parks official who died of cancer in 1980. Through decades of loss, change, and global recognition, Goodall remained rooted in her core mission: to promote empathy, understanding, and respect for all living beings. "I carry the story of David Greybeard in my heart," she once said. "That moment was a turning point, not just in my life, but in how we see ourselves as humans." Goodall published 32 books, including The Book of Hope, 2021, co-written with Douglas Abrams and Gail Hudson. It echoed the message she carried throughout her life, that no matter how dire things may seem, action fueled by compassion can create change. A legacy that lives on Dr. Goodall is survived by her son, Hugo Eric Louis Van Lowick, her sister Judy Waters, and 3 grandchildren. In 2022, Mattel released a Jane Goodall doll as part of its Barbie Inspiring Women series, made from recycled plastic. It was a symbol of the way her life story continued to inspire new generations of girls to look beyond the familiar and toward the forest. In the Gombe Hills where her journey began, the chimpanzees she studied, and the forest she fought to protect, remain. So too does the global community she built. From young students planting trees, to scientists preserving ecosystems. As she once put it, every individual matters. Every individual has a role to play. Every individual makes a difference. And Jane Goodall made a world of difference.